Hello everybody at Enchanted Emerald. This is Melissa bringing you another reading here for this evening, Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. As we get started here, as always, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Hit that red subscribe button below and the bell so you're notified of all of the new amazing content as it is released. Stepping into the energy this evening, as always, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck. That's my go-to deck. We have out of the deck tonight the Devil card accompanied with the Seven of Swords. So stepping into this energy, I really feel as though somebody chose to take a walk on the wild side, right? In terms of a relationship, taking a risk, taking a gamble. I feel as though this has turned into a little bit of a widespread chaos though, right? And I feel as though it's important to note here that you are still, however, the master of your fate, okay? You are your own savior, and that's exactly what's happening here with the Seven of Swords. Whether you take your lessons, gather them up, and walk away and leave the rest behind, you see this person is looking behind over their shoulder and walking away, or whether there's some secrets yet to be revealed. Who is, what's hanging in the balance, who knows? But the feeling here with this is you being your own savior. There's a notion here that we want to talk about with our feelings. Our feelings are transient, okay? So they will come and they will go. They will ebb and they will flow. They will come and leave as quickly as they come, right? And so with this, it's really important for you to be humble. I think that sometimes our pride gets in the way of things and, it keeps us held back in some ways, right? Where we won't be the bigger person. We won't approach somebody else and say sorry first or make that step forward that we need to make to start a conversation that we might need to have, right? That can keep us stuck. And then we're holding on to that energy. And so I feel as though when we're talking about this, there's a lot of doubts and insecurities kind of floating around in this energy with this that accompanies this reading tonight. And I feel like it's like somebody's got lots of questions floating around them. And so they're in this pool of insecurity, or sea, if you will. And I just feel like they're floating further and further out to sea. Like they're allowing these thoughts and these details to carry them away, right? Where they're getting caught up in their thoughts, they're getting caught up in all of these notions of these things that might not have even happened yet, but they're getting stuck in this like what if type scenario, or replaying different scenarios in their head of different avenues that it could take, even though it might not have already happened in that way. They're kind of going over things in their mind that could happen. And so it's leading them down a trail of like some negative thinking, right? And as they do that, they're getting further and further and further away from the shore. They're going further and further out into sea, right? So there's, a really important reminder here when you are your own savior to rein that in, to keep yourself from going further and further out to sea. You don't want to, take away from the situation. You don't want to allow yourself to get into this fear or this anxiety about the situation. You want to stick to the facts. You want to stay in the reality of that. And so I feel with this, maybe in terms of a relationship, somebody, with that taking that walk on that wild side, they might have bit off more than they could chew in terms of what they signed up for, what they got themselves into. Like they wanted to dabble a little bit when they wanted to take a walk on the wild side, so they maybe tried a different type of relationship or tried being with a different person than they normally are with, and so like they wanted somebody like bad and bougie, and so now they got that, and now they're like, why did I do that? This is so much for me. They can't handle it, right? Like this is too hot to handle, Spirit is saying. And so with this, I feel like maybe this person has too much of an attitude for them, or this person is really extra and they can't keep up with their spending habits. There's something in the way of that, right? This person feels like it's bringing so much energy to them that it's like overwhelming for them, right? And so it's like almost like owning the fact that you did that and allowing yourself to say, now, this isn't for me. So what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to get yourself out of this situation? How are you going to move forward in terms of getting yourself out of an unhealthy relationship, in terms of getting, maybe not necessarily an unhealthy relationship, but a relationship that you don't see yourself growing in, and maybe cutting out some of this negative thinking, right? Because you're allowing yourself to get caught up in that fear or that anxiety or that what if, as you know, like cutting out the negative thoughts and thought patterns that are associated with that. So again, when it comes to being your own savior, you're not going to allow yourself to float out to sea, but you're going to catch yourself before you allow that to happen. You're going to say, this is something that I know is not true. And, you know, you always want to first ask yourself, is this true? Do I know this to be true? And if you don't know that to be true, you can immediately dismiss that worry, that concern, right? Because we don't want to waste our time worrying on what if scenarios, because what if that never comes to fruition, right? You could ask yourself that. And so we want to make sure that we're not distorting the facts. Sometimes our mind tends to distort the facts when it's based on ego, right? And ego is supposed to tell us, you know, when a stove is hot and things like that. And so it kind of portrays this whole story of everything happening around us, right? But sometimes there are things that are brought up to us from our ego that is just simply not true. It's not real, and it's never going to happen. And so you have to ask yourself, is this something that's happening to me? Am I being tricked by my mind? And so I think also too, we have to ask, what is our experience in the past with this person or with this situation? What has our experiences in the past taught us? How can we handle this situation better? Because you want to be able, even though you're kind of floating and drifting out there into the sea, you want to be able to swim your way back to shore, right? You want to get yourself safely back to shore, to reality, to feeling grounded, right? And so that's taking action. That's being responsible for your feelings. That's taking accountability for your actions, right? And so doing that as you can, as you navigate this energy, as you navigate the situation, being mindful of that as you move forward. So beautiful read that we have here for this Wednesday. I do so hope this resonates for you. As always, if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you, because not all general readings can resonate for everybody, but this is something brought to you by Spirit to help you navigate this current energy. And as always, you can hit me up in the messenger on Facebook, or at the Square site pinned at the top on Facebook, or in the description box below on YouTube, or at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com. As always, I'll be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back and bring you a beautiful reading again sometime soon. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you.